This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Reverend Ronald Rawls. Welcome, Reverend Rawls, to the Lizzie podcast, Queen Lizzie podcast.
Wonderful. I'm happy to be here.
And I'm happy that you are here. And tell us a little about your church.
All right. I'm the pastor right now of Greater Bethel AME Church here in Gainesville, 701 Southeast 43rd Street. And I've been here probably about 3 years.
Okay.
And before coming here, I was pastor of St. Paul AME Church in St. Augustine, Florida. But I'm really enjoying my time here in Gainesville. It's a different type of fight, but we're always having to make sure that we're on point and on what's going on in our communities and standing up for what's right.
Exactly. And history is very important, especially now when there are people trying to ban our history. And we are not going to allow that. And I reached out to you because I know that you are a dedicated, very supportive person, minister in Gainesville, representing us and representing our history. It's our history. Okay, we lived it, we know about it, and we cannot stand separated and allow our history to be banned. We stand in solidarity, and I depend on ministers like you because I know who you are, I know what you represent, and I know you are going to put up a fight. I know that you are a fighter. I appreciate that, and we need more ministers like you. And I know that you are going to go out and say to our minister, hey, y'all, we need to help Mrs. Jenkins keep our history, our Black history, because Black history is America's history. And as I said, we have lived it. We must come together and make sure our children remember and learn from what we have taught them and what our ancestors taught us. And as you said, growing up, we didn't always have the schools or learn history in school. It was taught to us by our ancestors. I heard you say, and if not, you may say it. And we're here to talk about Rosewood. You all know that Rosewood is very special to me. My aunt was a school teacher from 1915 to 1923, survived. And my mom said, you must keep her history alive. You must tell her story. She suffered the agony of defeat. And I make sure everybody knows that when the Gainesville KKK came in, because they were hosting a rally here, downtown square, which is at Bo Diddley Plaza, they got a call from Sumner in Levy County, said, hey, come, look, this Black man has assaulted a white lady, we need your help, which was a lie, because the man they were referring to was my uncle, who was married to my aunt, the Rosewood school teacher, but they came anyway. And as a result of that, because she would not lie and say to them what they wanted her to say, that her husband was not at home the night of, they decided to, well, let's rape her, okay? And they did, and left her for dead. Thank God for the Levy County Sheriff, Robert Bob Walker, rescued her and brought her to Aunt Sarah's house. I must keep this history alive. You must hear what I am saying, what my mom said to me. And for 30 years I have done this. And she said, authenticate, research, tell the truth. And Rev, it's easy to tell the truth.
It's easy if you don't have any agendas,
Exactly.
any hidden agendas. If you have an agenda to where we unfortunately in this country, we've had an agenda of making some people look like they cannot tell a lie.
Yes,
You think
yes.
George Washington never
Yeah.
told a lie?
Yeah.
You believe that if you want.
Yeah.
And so, but we don't tell our agenda because there's some that don't want their children to know the evil that they've done. I mean, just imagine this. You know, you call yourself a Christian, but
Yes.
you enslave humans created by God.
Yes.
There's nothing biblical about that. And so you have to make sure that if you don't want your children to know even the evil that's been done, you have to go and manipulate the truth in history. And so history is often manipulated by those in power. They have the control of the pen,
Yes.
and they can write the narrative, but they don't control the end of the story. And so it's important for those of us that know the truth, despite whether or not it's being told on the largest platforms, whatever platforms we have, like you're doing right here and that you're doing through your foundation, we have to constantly tell the truth. And if nobody else wants it, we have to make sure that our own people know it. And the churches are extremely important where that's concerned, is making sure that we're in our stories, when in my sermons, when I bring up a story, when I'm about to close, it's normally a story connected to a Black history fact,
Yes.
so that our people know that information, because it's not being taught in all of our schools.
Very true. And that is such a powerful statement
Yeah.
you just made. Very powerful. We've got to go back. What they say, to the old landmark where we started. Okay, and history has enslavement has not benefited us. It benefited some people, but not us. We were the teachers. We taught many people what to do, how to do it, to make our job easier.
Yeah, what you do is you got to learn how, just in sports. You know, in sports, one thing that I've learned is you play the first half. If it didn't go like you planned when you wrote out your plan, you got to go in. You got to go in and make some adjustments.
Yes.
And so when things come up against us, or legislation is passed, things are passed that are detrimental or appear to be designed to set us back, you just, instead of sitting on the sideline and whining, you go and make adjustments. And so one thing that we did in our church this summer is our summer camp that we do each summer. We labeled it a Sankofa summer. And so Sankofa is just to look. You got to look back,
Yes.
in order to go forward. And so everything this summer was connected to making sure that our children knew their history, and that stuff like that. Like you say, it's simple, but you got to be committed. You got to be committed to do it. If they don't want to do it, hey, then we go start our own schools.
Exactly.
We still start our own schools and teach what everyone else teaches in their schools. But we can't be dependent or give up just because people in power have agendas and they make it hard. Life is hard, but we
Right.
still survive. Life was hard for our ancestors.
It was.
But I'm here today because they were.
Because they were.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I tell people too. And we are the people in power. We don't need to give them any credit. They are not in power. They just a bunch of, they're different. Okay, but we have that power. We're going to take it back because we're not stopping. We're going to teach our kids in our churches, in our homes, or on a platform such as this. Okay, and I just got an email today. They want me to do a TV program. I'm not going to do a TV. I enjoy the podcast and reaching out to people.
Okay.
And you are the first minister, okay, that I have invited, and you have been on my podcast, but you are not going to be the last one.
Wonderful.
Because this is your assignment from me.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell the ministers I need them, not I, we, the two of us
Yes,
need
ma'am.
them, so that we can move our agenda, our history to the next level, because we cannot allow our history to go untold. And together we are going to unite in solidarity.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
indeed.
I completely agree.
Yes. that's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too. January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Reverend Ronald Rawls. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Special thanks to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. Okay, we are back, and I want to open this with something that is very important to me: cancer. October is Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm going to make this statement in the presence of you so that you can go to my Facebook and do a donation, even if it's $5, because both my mom and sister had cancer. So in memory of them, and this is my birthday month also, the 25th, please leave us a donation for, like I said, whatever you can afford. Thank you very much. And now we are back on Rosewood, and we're back with Reverend Ron Rawls, and I really am honored, Reverend Rawls. I'm honored because you were brave enough to come on and help us keep this history alive. So thank you very much. And he has a following at his church. I know most of them. If I don't know them, they know me. May I say something about your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
His wife and I are good friends. We went to Montgomery, Alabama together on the bus together. We enjoyed the Legacy Museum there. And his wife ran for judge, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked, and now she's one of our first black judges in Alachua County, which eighth is it the
Eighth Judicial Circuit.
Eighth Judicial Circuit.
Yes, ma'am.
She is a very nice friend of mine. Okay. And we are going to also get the Divine Nine involved. If you notice me, I am a Zeta. The judge, my friend, is an AKA, but we are going to reach out to all of you all. Do you hear us out there?
And I'm a Kappa.
Oh, I'm glad to know that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Reverend Ron is a Kappa.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. We need you all. We need you to go to Queen Lizzie Podcast and subscribe or like it, okay, so that more people can hear about us. And we're going to also do the, what is it called? Divine Nine. Did I say that?
Yes.
HBCU.
Okay.
HBCU. We are reaching out. And anybody else, you don't have to be HBCU or Divine Nine. Any organization, black or white, red or pink, we need you all to help us tell this story, Rosewood story, and our history. Okay, as I tell people often, black history is America's history.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, without black history, there is none. And I want to do a little side conversation. My mother was a genius, 8th grade education. Every question I have ever asked her, she has always answered it. I didn't say it was right, but she gave me an answer, which satisfied me. So one day during my course, and when I say course, we had class, my mom and I said to her, I said, I was old enough to notice that white people are always interested in our history. So one day I said to her, Mom, why is white folks always researching and interested in our history without thinking? She said, well, they don't have a history. Don't get angry with me. I'm just repeating what my mother said. Whether it's true or not, she said it. So if you have a problem with that, then you have to talk to her. Okay? But we know we have history. I mean, we have the best history. We tell America's history in spite of. I don't know why I got on that conversation, but it's true. So I need you to help me out.
But I think sometimes you have interest in learning about what you have not been taught.
Yes.
And so in our schools, we have a couple figures that they may teach about, and then they may not even teach the truth about those. And then so those who are really interested in information, they're hearing things, but it's, well, I was never taught about that in school.
Exactly.
I know about Rosa Parks, but it's Cova, and I didn't know about her. There's so much that I didn't know. I didn't know about Rosewood. I didn't know about this and that, because they're not going to teach it. But the people that love information, they'll go and pursue it. So I think that may be another reason why we see, so many people trying to learn, because the schools didn't make it readily available.
Exactly. And on that point, Congressman Ted Yoho, who is a Republican, came to me one day. He said, Miss Lizzie, oh, and by the way, he has been very helpful. He has introduced a bill for the Rosewood Historical Landmark. And he said to me one day, he said, you know what, Mrs. Jenkins, he said, when they dedicated the Josiah T. Walls,
Yes, ma'am.
he said, they asked me to speak. He said, I didn't know anything about Josiah T. Walls. I'd never heard of him. He said, and I looked it up. I Googled it. And I found out that he was one of the first or the only African-American congressman in Florida and Alachua County, Gainesville. He said, I was so upset. I had to find that out on the internet because when I was in school, it was not taught to me. He said, I was very disappointed. And he said, whatever I can do to help Rosewood and to keep it out there, he said, I will do it. I appreciate that, regardless of politics. And history is not political. History is who we are. But those are his words, and I truly appreciate it very much. And people say, well, I'm not going to go there. But he said it, he meant it.
Well, you teach the truth, everybody will know about it.
That's right. That's exactly.
Don't run away from it. Teach it, put it out there, listen to others, have an open ear, and when there's information out there, don't run away from it, because it may make your children feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Teach the truth.
Yes.
Don't manipulate it. Then everybody will have an opportunity, because I think everybody deserves to know the truth.
Exactly. And that's exactly.
Yeah, I have some people in my family that were not perfect, that made some mistakes, but it still helped me to know.
Exactly.
It still made me, and then now I can make a decision to say, you know what, I can choose to be like this or like that, knowing that may be a tendency or a trait that may be in my genes. But if I continually, and my family lies to me and never lets me know about that portion of who I am, I think it's unfair to me.
Right.
And so I think we have to be willing to teach all truth.
Right. Teach each other's history. And he went further than that. He also called me one day and said, I'm talking about our former Congressman Ted Yoho called me one day and said, Miss Lizzie. I said, yes. He was still in Washington, D.C., working with Congress. And he said, are you sitting down? I said, no. He said, I'm going on TV at 7:30 and I'm going to talk about Rosewood. I said to myself, really? And sure enough, 7:30, he went on C-SPAN and he talked about Rosewood and Miss Lizzie for 4.5 minutes. And if anybody listening to me and you want to verify it, just pull it up. He talked about Rosewood and Miss Lizzie for 4.5 minutes. As I said, history is not political. He didn't know, and like I said, my mom said that they don't have a history. She didn't mean it like that. She just meant, I believe, that our history was important to you as you came back and clarified. It's important to everybody. So when we don't know it, we have to work together.
Yes, ma'am.
To learn it. And I want to just bring in, have to promote my website. It is, if you're interested in making a donation or purchasing a book, just reading the information, becoming a member, there is a membership application, or you have a child who lives in Alachua or Levy County, they may apply for a scholarship, a Rosewood scholarship. Well, it's really a Hulda Gussie Brown Carrier scholarship, who was the Rose teacher and my aunt. You may apply for it, and the deadline is April of 2024. Okay. The address is www.rosewoodflorida.com. And something else we're going to do, and I don't think I've said this, on Thursday or Friday of this week, we are going to officially launch our website. It's long. It has, I will not tell you. It's a surprise. And we also have other things that's coming up. We will keep you informed. And again, there is the, what? Can't remember age. What else I have up there? Oh, cancer awareness, if you want to donate. So don't forget to donate. I don't think I left anything out, but I'm involved, very involved with the community of Levy County, because they're my friends there. I'm going to their festival, which is on the 21st, 22nd of this month, just to show my face, to network with people. The person who donated the Real Rosewood House to us, the John Wright Rosewood House to us, is going to be there. He lives in Rosewood, on the property where the house is that he donated to the Real Rosewood Foundation, and we're working with him closely. He is a young man, and I give credit where credit is due. A very nice young man.
Okay.
And he, we talk often. God sent him to me, me to him. The spirit is in his energy, and when I tell you this, I am serious. I took food down there after the storm, representing Rosewood, and we were talking. He said, "Where did you take the food?" I said, "Oh, to the Baptist church." He said, "Is that the big church on the hill?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, that's my church. I'm a deacon there. You need to come and visit me at my church so that I can show you off to the people in the community."
Okay.
And I'm going to do that. So I would love for you to meet him. Very nice young man. Now, is it anything else that you would like to say? Some closing?
I thought about it while you were talking. The first church I pastored from 1999 to 2002 in Chiefland, Florida, right down the street from Rosewood.
Really?
Right there on that same main highway that takes you all the way down through to Rosewood. I was there from 99 to 2000, the beginning of our ministry. St. James AME Church.
Okay,
Yes,
wonderful. Ma'am. He'll be happy to meet you. We are having an event coming up, maybe if not this month, next month, at the house.
Yeah.
My friend who has made a Rosewood diorama. Awesome.
Okay.
He is going to bring that diorama to the house, and he's going to light it up, set it afire, whatever that means. But he is working on it as we speak.
Okay, sounds good.
And you can come. I will invite you so that you can meet the young man.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, yes, indeed. Anything else?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. But I'm thinking maybe that's about it. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. that will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye.